Well, my face, dude. In case you missed it, the Toronto Maple Leafs dealt Dion Phaneuf and everybody else to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for everybody else on the Senators. And if you want my opinion, the Leafs crushed it. I am loaded up on Red Bull, coffee, and Nutella, and I am so fired up for this video. Gotta calm down, gotta rein it in. Let's talk. Wow! I can basically guarantee that if you're watching this video, you know who's involved in the trade, but just for the heck of it, the Leafs send Cody Donaghy, Ryan Rupert, Casey Bailey, Matt Fratton, and Dion Phaneuf to the Ottawa Senators in exchange for Jared Cowan, Colin Greening, Milan Michalek, Tobias Lindberg, and a second-round pick in 2017. So much for the trade deadline being dead. The trade deadline was never dead. It just took a few years for general managers to get creative enough. This is absolutely incredible, and it's amazing because no one saw it coming. There was a tweet in the morning like, hey, some stuff might happen, and then like an hour later, I'm in my car and my phone just bing, 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 bing. There are only 3 scenarios where your phone can go off like that. 1, a death. 2, your Italian mother found out it's been more than 6 hours since you've last eaten. 3, the Leafs made a trade. And you gotta wonder if Phaneuf thinks he's living in the Twilight Zone. On the day Phaneuf was traded to the Senators, the Leafs were in Calgary to play the Flames, his former team. The Leafs acquired Phaneuf from the Calgary Flames in a huge multiplayer blockbuster trade. And now for the second time in his career, Dion Phaneuf has to fly out of Calgary because he was traded from one Canadian team to another because he was involved in a multiplayer blockbuster trade. Now, Leafs fans, what are the Leafs giving up? And Sens fans, what are the Sens acquiring? If you want a very short answer, Dion Phaneuf. And you might be like, yes, but what about the other 4 guys? No disrespect to these players, but would you like a really quick recap? Matt Fratton, you're already plenty familiar with him. He has some NHL experience, but for the most part, he's an AHL scorer. Ryan Rupert, yeah, he's a pesky little fella, and yeah, maybe probably not. Casey Bailey, a free agent signing out of college. He's not even in the Marlies' top 10 in scoring. And Cody Donaghy, I believe he was a free agent signing out of junior. Leafs fans, let us all bow our heads and take a moment to feel really bad for all the prospects that the Leafs just gave up. And then take a quick peek at the Marlies roster and immediately stop feeling bad. In the Michael Grabner trade, the Leafs whipped a big fistful of maybes at the Islanders and said thanks. Then with that fist empty, they dipped it back into the bucket of maybes and looked at the Senators and said thanks. Not including Dion Phaneuf, if you take the Grabner trade and this trade combined and you look at the 9 prospects that the Leafs gave up in those trades, will any of them be of any significance in the National Hockey League? Don't bet on it. Now, you never know. That's a pretty huge bet. Those are 9 guys. Will Chris Gibson work out for the Islanders? Will someone else work out in that trade? Will someone emerge with the Senators? You never know. But if you had to bet, and I'm certainly not encouraging it, looks pretty good. And now, Dion Phaneuf, Leafs fans, stop hating just because he's out of town now. Because Ottawa, let me tell you, under Mike Babcock, Dion Phaneuf really had a Leafs kind of renaissance. I thought he's been playing pretty good this season. Not amazing, not 7.1 million great, but good. Is that a lot of money to be paying Dion Phaneuf? Of course it is, but it's also a lot of money to be paying Colin Greening, Milan Michalek, and Jared Cowan. Who would you rather pay? Who's gonna get you to the playoffs? There you go. And also, Leafs fans, whatever. Phaneuf wasn't captain material, or he wasn't the superstar you expected him to be. He also did basically everything he was asked to do by this organization. The only time his leadership ability was ever called out super hardcore is when he walked out of a media press conference, and that tells you all you need to know about that stupid storyline. And he was a good player being taxed with playing great minutes. Ottawa has a great player playing great minutes. His name is Erik Karlsson. You put Phaneuf behind him, that could work out perfectly. This could be the perfect situation for Phaneuf. Now, what did the Leafs get in return? For the most part, who cares? The answer really is cap space. Greening, Michalek, and Cowan are on the books for 2 years. 1 after this one. There might be options to flip them. There might be options to buy them out. There might be options that they can actually contribute to the lineup. Michalek is a fine player. He's just injured all the time. Lindberg, the lone prospect that Ottawa gave up, is kind of the wild card in this whole thing. I have no idea if he's going to be anything or a star. And the 2017 second-round pick is just hilarious. The Leafs just taking all the picks, shoving them in their cheeks like a squirrel. They can't get enough picks, and they're going to get even more. And a lot of people disagree with this point, but a lot of people will agree with it too. I do not want the likes of William Nylander and the best Toronto Marlies getting called up to the Leafs to play the last 30 games of the season. For what? For what, NHL experience with a god-awful last-place team? No thank you. I want you preparing for a run at the Calder Cup. And while they're down there doing that, maybe call up Colin Greening, see what he can do in the NHL. Maybe let Jared Cowan just fill one of those NHL spots. If Milan Mahalik is healthy, excellent, throw him in. And while those guys are in there, you can trade out the likes of P.A. Parento and or Sean Matthias and or Brad Boyes and or whoever you want with an expiring contract and get even more picks. Just stuff them in there. This looks like a weird and rare case of both teams getting what they want. The Leafs, first of all, get out from under a giant, long contract in Dion Phaneuf, and they get some flexibility. That's all they wanted. What Ottawa wants is a better shot at the playoffs, and you can giggle all you want, Phaneuf haters. Dion Phaneuf gives Ottawa that. If you want something really funny to take from all this, Erik Karlsson is now the second highest paid defender on the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, that guy who's probably going to win the Norris again, maybe even the Hart Trophy. Yeah, second highest paid defender on his team. And I was talking to comedian Matt Wright as soon as this trade broke. He said, hey, when was the last time that two Newfoundlanders were traded for each other? The Leafs send Newfoundlander Cody Donaghy to the Sens, and the Sens send Colin Greening to the Leafs. And to me, not the funniest, but certainly the most fun part of this deal, the surprise. The insiders in this industry are so good. They know so much. It seems like they know deals before teams even know they're going to be making those deals. And then there's Lou Lamoriello. I'm not telling anybody anything, and if you tell anyone anything, you're fired. Yes, Mr. Lemoncello. So if you're sitting there looking at the Leafs roster going, well, what the heck are they going to do now? In the last year, they've traded David Clarkson, Phil Kessel, and Dion Phaneuf. Oh, and fired and hired everybody. So what's going to happen? You're going to hold on to your phone until it becomes part of your palm. That's what's going to happen. Is there a trade? No. Is there a trade? No. Is there a trade? Yes! No. The NHL trade deadline is 20 days, ever so slightly less than 3 weeks away. Hold on to your hats, kids. I think this was just the opening act.